that's, you know, running these players that just run in. I've been seeing a lot of that last night too. So if you're down to just walk in and see what you can get away with, go for it. This is exactly the time to experiment and see what you're capable of.
As me and my friends say in a league game, whenever we run in 1v5 and die, we're just limit testing. gotta know exactly how you're doing. But we have seen crops ready up, so we're just waiting on Pigeon Syndrome now. And I don't know, Pear and Quakespeare are looking to be the players to watch from the pregame scoreboard right now. Quake breaking 100 points, so he's really been getting that warm up going right now.
I'm not sure how much this counts in the soap DM games where
100%.
People are still just sitting around and enjoying life, as it were, but we are readied up now, so we'll be able to start this game. Again, if you're just joining us, this is Call the Crops versus Pigeon Syndrome on Product. I believe this is first to four, so let's kick this off.
Yeah, gonna be watching both rollouts right now. Pigeon Syndrome sending a lot of people out cliffside, which not the most standard rollout right there. Kree up on the cliff rock, spamming onto concrete. Max already getting behind onto the blue concrete right now. There goes the first jump, really. Kree going in, gonna take out Max. Caught him going back, traded out by Scribble, as we see Naden on the point getting very aggressive. Slight frag lead right now for Pigeon Syndrome. They are aggressing first, but the scouts are closing back in on the point. Jaehong in deep onto Princess Elaine, gonna take her out. Going down, that med pick gonna be meaning a lot. King Cobra still looking to maybe try to sneak the cap in, not gonna get it.
Yeah, it was really interesting seeing that cliff rollout coming into play. I think the inexperience of Call the Crops kind of just showed a little bit where they looked up at the players sitting on cliff, and I don't think they saw it the same way we would see it, as a choke point where you can lock people in, but they saw it as high ground where Pigeon Syndrome were able to sit on top of and just spam them. So you saw a little bit of timidness coming out from Call the Crops as they started out that mid-fight, but they did get the medic pick and clean up the push after that. And here comes Quakespeare coming in, getting the bomb again on Princess Elaine, neutralizing that Uber once again. So this is going to secure Crops a significant Uber ad. Countersack does come out from Newtstock, trying to secure as counterplay, but unfortunately did not quite get it. And there goes the chase out from Jaehong again. But there goes Kree. He does get the pick and chicken going down with the fast respawn coming out from Princess Elaine. They might be able to take this repush quicker than they thought.
Yeah, Quakespeare's pregame warm-up really coming true right there, but Kree able to land those two rockets right onto Pick and Chicken. Evens out the Uber ad right there, as we see Newtstock now trying to get onto point. Gonna be blown back a little bit. Crops players still playing aggressively, even without their meds, so all this damage is sticking. Big bomb out of Max. Will he find anything? Not quite. Gonna be taken out by Naten. Does some good damage there, but that is gonna be him and Scribble going down as well. Kree, the hero who got Chicken before, gonna find another pick, and they will retake this now with a pretty solid Uber ad. So if they can keep a lane up, they're looking to knock some serious time off this clock.
Yeah, they're doing this a little non-standard too. They're keeping both soldiers a little closer to heals. You can see the scouts are actually quite loose on these rotations, not quite what you'd see at a high-level meta, but certainly if these scouts can get away with it, I highly encourage that. Kree coming over to concrete, looking like they're trying to poke at this a little bit, but it seems more of a game of spam as both teams just kind of trading through this choke point. But Chicken goes down to Kree walking forward and landing solid rockets. Princess Elaine gets forced out by a bomb from Max in the back, so, you know, maybe not a total loss for Crops, but here comes Quakespeare bombing on top of King Cobra. Does he land the rockets? Not quite. King Cobra does kill Quakespeare, but also kill himself on that splash, and so the force did come out, but looks like Pigeon Syndrome do still hold this Uber advantage, but here comes the repush from Crops. They walk right in. Princess Elaine goes down in the back, and then Pigeon Syndrome trying to retreat, hopefully hold on to their lives. Pear backs out right as Kree bombs in, trying to find Pick and Chicken, but not quite hitting those shots. Now it's
but
just
here comes in Pear.
Pick and Chicken. Oh no!
A ton of damage, but gonna be stalled up by the rocket there. Almost even those meds out.
That was close. Pick and Chicken does secure that 50% Uber ad, able to maybe start holding this. And, you know, this is really going to be about which team's going to be able to keep their medic alive more right now, because it seems like the defining factor so far is just the presence of heals and the ability to make these Ubers out. But there goes Max. Did a little too far forward. Quakespeare in. Oh, Princess Elaine goes down. Just cannot keep these medics alive.
Quakespeare went in for 3 bombs, 3 lives in a row where he just traded frags, but this time it goes on to China. Gets the spam down before able to just slowly, you know, chip down Elaine, not able to dodge those
Pick and Chicken got left alone!
Pear! Sneaking
Guys,
in
you gotta
behind.
stay with your medics!
Yeah, you know, it's funny, we talked about how, you know, maybe if the scouts aim weren't as good, we might not see them be able to do as much, but interestingly, it looks like they're doing plenty, it's just, it's all offense focused. None of the kind of defensive scout play we're used to seeing of, you know, playing around the med and denying any flankers. Instead, it's just abandon the meds and constantly trade them at all times. So, less than a minute now left for Crops as Pigeon Syndrome's trying to get aggressive. Elaine gets hit low and is forced to back out right there. Gonna stop any cap time. Korea and Cobra gonna be caught out right there. Shouldn't be too long on the respawn, but they're running out of time to do something.
Right, and you can see them setting up, trying to spam them out of Valley here as there's just a lot of demo stickies flying in. It looks like Pigeon Syndrome are going to come over to Cliff, maybe try a push, but they only have 30 seconds, and their team is really split up. Their demo is nowhere near the combo. Max bombs in to try to clean up on that. Spear does actually get the drop on Princess, but Pick and Chicken also going down in the back. Here's only 2 players alive. Max and Jaehong coming in trying to clean this up. Jaehong is going to turn and take the fight, does not get the kill on Nathan. Nathan securing that final kill and getting this cap. Once again, it's just a matter of you need to keep your medics alive, but finally, Pigeon Syndrome does take the repush, and now they have to hold this for 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes. They will have slight Uber ad. It looks like Elaine actually spawned before they capped that. Not sure if that was intentional or just a lucky coincidence there, but we will see about a 10% ad. If I'm a betting man, I wouldn't bet on either of these meds to stay alive that long with how you know, breakneck this game has been going. But Quakespear goes in for another one of his trade bombs, but Yujin and Max taking out Paranate in short order. There goes Kree. It is just Elaine and Newt right now. Bomb coming out of Max, not going to find Elaine right there, but gonna be abandoned actually. Newt goes in to block the point, leaving Elaine alone. Scribble's gonna clean that up. 2 kills from Nuke, though, may not have been worth it as they're going to seed that Uber ad that they had and the point with almost no time left.
Yeah, I'm with Newtstick on that one. He had to go back in. It's only 8 seconds right as Pear comes in to try to reclaim that cap, but he cannot get it. I just like to point out that for a second when I was looking at the scoreboard during that last round, Pick and Chicken on Medic was at the bottom with 5 points, topped by Quakespear, or it was Max with 6. I mean, I know Pick and Chicken's kind of recovering that gain now as at 10 points and is tied with Quakespear, but you can't keep letting your medic die. You need those heals, and you need your medic to have that impact in that game.
Yeah, definitely. If we come into another mid-fight here, Kree gets caught out super early. Quakespear going in for another jump. Gets some good damage onto Elaine. Is not committing, though. Gonna stay alive right there as 2 people on Pigeon would go down. Jaehong is chasing in. Gonna take out Pear as well. Elaine playing alone on Cliff right now. Has Newt with her, and it looks like that's going to be all the chasing right there. So both meds will actually survive the mid until Quakespear goes in for round 2 and takes out Elaine.
We hoped Alto, but here comes, oh no, Jaehong trying to go in for another quick sneaky play, but does get King Cobra down to half health, but Cobra's walking forward. Still committing to this fight. Kree and Nathan are both down, so there's no backup. Looks like these teams are just walking forward now. No heals, no problem. You see King Cobra and Newtstoop just walking forward as they please. Pick and Chicken going down to 40 health, nearly dying again, but finally survived as a scout was close by, and Quakespear was here to help protect as well. But here, the Uber has finally been built on the side of Crops as they're looking to play lower forward. Deny with this Uber, but there comes the Uber. Maybe a little bit of a panic pop. It wasn't really too much to Uber on, but this Uber isn't being used to chase too many people. Maybe just kind of a defensive. And now this is going to be Elaine sitting on 30% ad.
Yeah, they got some frags. Chicken protected his own life, so not the worst use considering I think that's their first Uber of the game right now, actually. As Chicken is forced out, took some spam, gonna have to go get a pack, so no heals with the front line right now, but most of the players on Pigeon Stream are just as hit, if not dead, from just Yujin putting them through the meat grinder than the scouts and soldiers cleaning them up. As, again, 70% on Elaine. I see some rockets flying around, gonna be forced back alone. Really slow on the build, actually. As Max is playing aggressive, looking to maybe get a sneaky frag. There's one rocket too! And Elaine's still unable to get that Uber. Her team will cap around her as they have slight numbers adds right now.
Pick and Chicken's been left alone too. Kree comes in. The other soldier comes in chasing after the kill. There goes Pick and Chicken. The medics do not survive this game apparently as 3 for 3, 1 respawner coming back in game for Pigeon Syndrome, and they're attempting a forward hold without their heals. Looks like Newtstook sitting all the way on their grass, and Pear just hovering above that man. Is he going to be able to get the sneaky kill?
I don't know if I'd call this a hold as much as one man on each spawn exit. Pear
2 shots
above there. Both scouts take out Pick and Chicken again, and these medics are suffering right now. Some more action on Concrete, actually.
There goes 2 kills. Max coming in on the side. There goes Elaine down. Your heals do not survive. Kree going down in connector 2. Nathan coming in trying to get as much cleanup as he can, but Eugen securing that last pipe, and they're going to be able to retake this. Oh, please. Oh, I do not want to know how these medics are feeling right now. These games are fast-paced, and they are going quickly. These points and kills are being traded at an alarming rate, but when will either team decide that, you know, maybe we'd like to actually play around with an Uber?
Jaehong gets killed by a cross-map splash rocket when the pack was up from cliff to grass, so that's a pick that we could maybe see Pigeon Syndrome push off of it. Princess Elaine, though, was already hurt. Gonna have to drop down and get that pack. So Pear gonna be traded out instead. Jaehong spawning now means that Props will have the spawn advantage. Jump coming out of Nuke close to the point, gonna try to force them off as we're under a minute
Max
now.
gets Elaine again!
Pigeon Syndrome really
Chicken goes down to Kree!
Dude, what? These scouts just, you know, it feels like, so if you're Crops right now, right, this is fine for you. Because if your med's constantly going down, but you're killing not only the other med, but all of their players, then you know what, sure, like, let's keep playing like this, right? If it looks like they've got better DM, so they're running it and they're, you know, leveraging that fact, saying we have better DM, we're more coordinated, while our med goes down to 2 of your soldiers, 4 of your players are going to go down to the rest of us, and we can win that.
Right, and they look like they're really banking.
These scouts just, you know, it feels like, so if you're Crops right now, right, this is fine for you. Because if your med's constantly going down, but you're killing not only the other med, but all of their players, then you know what, sure, like, let's keep playing like this, right? If it looks like they've got better DM, so they're running it and they're, you know, leveraging that fact, saying we have better DM, we're more coordinated, while our med goes down to 2 of your soldiers, 4 of your players are going to go down to the rest of us, and we can win that.
Right, and they look like they're really banking on Jaehong as well, just coming in, trying to be a bit of a scout savant here. Jaehong going in, he didn't kill on King Cobra too, and finally chasing out Elaine in the back again, missing 2 shots, 3 shots, 4 shots. Finally pistoling Elaine down, the heals go down. Pigeon Chicken survives, so that's going to be a 25% Uber ad as Pigeon Chicken goes back to meet up with Max. The point is captured by Pigeon Syndrome, but now they have to deal with a deficit of heals.
Yeah, and I mean, 2 minutes on the clock compared to Crops being in overtime means that, oh, Elaine's still just spawning now. That was a nasty spawn wave. Nathan going back to meet her, which, you know, maybe we should like to have seen a little bit earlier, but Cooper gets hit by a Rap Assassin. He's bleeding down. Max, not the best bomb. Gonna eat some damage for that, but Pigeon Chicken isn't for the heals. Here comes Kree in the backline. Gonna find Chicken. So the Uber ad is neutralized. If Elaine, nope, Elaine's already dead. Died in pocket.
I didn't even catch it.
I think she got cratered by a pipe, actually, is what it looks like is what happened.
But even so, with that what looked like a good opening frag on their medic, there's so much cap time now for Crops as they're coming back in. Eugen looks like he just wants to stealth the cap. This is Pear is able to die in 1 pipe, and he needs to play this really safely. Faster spawns too coming out of the side of Crops. They just walk in, Quakespeare ready to take this fight. And finally, Jaehong coming in, looking to play hero for the team, taking a 1v1 versus King Cobra. No one's able to stop him. He hasn't taken a single point of damage, and it just walks right in. No one's able to stop the Jaehong. Max going in for a big bomb, gets King Cobra, knocks Elaine down to 30 health. Here comes Scribble as he comes in with the heals and finally gets the recap. 5 down on the side of Pigeon Syndrome, and they are just not able to defend against this absolute barrage of aggression.
Yeah, I saw Dolphin put a medic top deaths in chat in sometime during that last round, but if we want to maybe get these logs pulled up, because I think those will be a pretty good indication of what's going on here. But what I was trying to get at before, you know, the med trading action continued was that Pigeon Syndrome really just needs to be playing more defensive around Elaine right now. Where, again, so that all-in balls-to-the-wall playstyle is working from Crops, but it's not working for Pigeon Syndrome. So they need to back up, play more defensive, you know, orbit both of their scouts and maybe a soldier around Elaine, and then just protect her. Let her get an Uber off. She got up to 100% 1 time and got dropped from a bomb. And in 2 rounds, you need your med to be getting to, you know, that Uber percentage, you feel like, more than a single time. So I'm really going to be looking for Nathan and Pear, who, you know, have points, at least. They are getting kills, but you need to be getting kills on the people near your medic, not far away from her.
Exactly. Looks like Pigeon Syndrome are just trying to play the same game. After the enemy soldiers bomb in and take down Elaine, they're trying to countersack and, match that aggression, but I don't think trying to play their game's the bet here. I absolutely agree with you on that. They need to adjust. They need to focus on keeping Elaine down, because if you can bait the players from Crops into running in and just feeding into your well-organized defense, you're going to have a much better time taking the pushes after they commit and drop down 2 players, and you'll be able to just walk right in and take that point more or less for free. But you just need to start by getting your heals together, getting your combo together, and having your scouts be able to sit tight and be able to defend Elaine. Otherwise, I don't see them taking these fights, especially because it looks like, just granted, given what we've seen off of this first half, looks like Crops have a sizable DM advantage. And, with both heals out of the equation, you have no strategy to play around that. You're just going to walk in and just keep dying to the players that are better at shooting than you are.
All right, so get with me on this. You need
Quick
defense,
fix.
right? Defense for your mid. You know what classes are really good at not letting people play the game? Highlander classes. I honestly feel like switching either a scout, switching someone to a heavy or an NG or even a pyro to reflect rockets at this point. If the DM isn't enough, I feel like that might be the kind of low effort solution right now for Pigeon Syndrome. Get yourself a pyro or get a heavy and just sit on a lane.
You call it low effort. So here's a little story. My team's Pyro Inquisition, he's been playing 6s in main for the last season. And he just became known as that one scout that would just constantly off-class a Pyro in every situation. Here's the fact of the matter. If you are good enough at Pyro, it works. If you know a team's soldiers are hyper-aggressive, they're just going to bomb in, you can have a scout off-class a Pyro and just essentially replace the pocket scout. Because if you know that their team relies on these bombs and their team relies on getting aggression off of that soldier play, as long as you just deny them that space, you won't suffer too much from the lack of aggression from your own team by giving up a scout. As long as you just make sure that you keep your heals alive, you're able to keep playing that game. So, I definitely could see that Pyro coming in. I'm, as far as a little more of a standard solution, having a heavy is absolutely not a bad play either. If you come in with a 450 health, overhealed beast and just shred soldiers that try to jump you out of the sky, I mean, I don't think Crops would be particularly well equipped to deal with that, because it looks like the hyper aggression strat could really backfire if they just walk into a heavy, or God forbid we switch it up with an engineer and you start seeing level 3s on the point. I mean, that's gonna be
Jaehong's on NG right now.
I mean that's the winning team, so I don't know if we count that. But yeah, there's absolutely a bunch of solutions that I think they should be considering fielding. Especially since within this Newcomer Cup, I mentioned it already. I think you should be encouraging this kind of experimentation and seeing what you get away with. So if anyone, I shouldn't say that. That's a little. I'll just cut my thought off before I run my mouth somewhere. But just feel free to try something a little different, and definitely see what you can do.
Yeah, since I think we can pretty confidently say that it is not working for Pigeon Syndrome right now. Not really in the slightest, as they are just getting meat grindered by all the players on Crops, including, we haven't really, I took a glance at the logs just to look at the med deaths, but Jaehong's sitting on 28 and 10 right now, and Eugen's got 500 DPM on demo. So they are not winning on the DM front. And you know what gives you an automatic win in DM? Putting a mini sentry down, because that thing has an aimbot on it.
It's incredible that, we actually have literal aimbots in our game. And people don't consider that, but especially in a game mode which relies so much on, having strong, highly skilled mechanical players, I think minis could really pull the win in a situation like this for them, especially with that aimbot just able to deny players coming in and the bombs from these soldiers. I think they should really start considering solutions like these, and hopefully we'll be able to see some of this stuff. As far as logs go, just Jaehong just absolutely shredding that server with 28 kills, more than double anyone else except for maybe Kree. But if they try to shut down that scout a little more, maybe Pigeon Syndrome are going to be able to come back into this game and really come back from this.
Well, it does not look like we have any off classes right now coming into this mid. Excuse me, we see this cliff rollout again, but Quakespeare going in for a fast bomb, gonna get behind. Watch for him in a few seconds to go right back in as Pigeon Syndrome is forced all the way out. Elaine hit low, serves back into main, but Max able to land a rocket, and the meat grinder continues as Crops are steamrolling over onto this mid right now. And it looks like they're going to be taking this no problem. The teams have switched colors, something important to note. So Crops are now on blue with Pigeon Syndrome on red, but fantastic mid.
Yeah, they did this exact same thing again. They bombed both soldiers behind, and they kept a fairly consistent combo orbiting close to their demo man, who's playing kind of the central combo unit right now. And both soldiers just went behind. One soldier went to cliff, the other soldier went to grass, one soldier bombed in to initiate, the other came in for the cleanup on the back. And it just looks like Pigeon Syndrome don't have an answer to that, but they are coming in with this push right now off of a Quake Spear push. I'm not sure what they're going to try to do, but they're sitting at a 60% disad. Here comes a big bomb from Max in the back, trying to come look for Pigeon Chicken in the back, but does get denied by Nathan. So here comes the chase finally. Natastuk coming in, gets the kill on Eugen, and finally the Zuber is coming out traded to found Princess Elaine in the back again, so no more heals for Pigeon Syndrome for the rest of this fight, but they look like they're not done yet. Off of their medic death, no heals, no problem. Let's walk forward. You don't need to wait for your medic to aggress. Nathan does go down, unfortunately, and even though there's a big amount of damage coming out from the side of Pigeon Syndrome, they don't seem to be able to secure too many kills, but they do get the cap for their troubles.
Chicken popped there, but was not a good Uber. Kept the beam on, I believe that was Scribble for most of that, playing really close, dropped 3 or 4 people during it. So even though we do see an Uber, it really doesn't give them too much, as Pigeon Syndrome are able to take the point back. Almost baited out aggression because people were maybe expecting to get flashes and ended up not getting them. But the aggression coming right back out. There is Max going in, gonna get Cobra. Numbers are even right now, but Elaine is at full health, sitting at 32. As I say that, eats a pipe and a sticky, down to 20 right away. Doing her best, dodging all of the projectiles being fired. Newt going in for a jump, abandoning Elaine right there, who's just kind of sitting back behind point, not being pressured yet. Now Alone going to try to meet up with Kree. Point still not theirs, and there's a lot of aggression here for not a lot of cap time. But Pear in the back sneaks the kill onto Chicken.
The game of medics continues once again. Looks like now Elaine's been getting left alone as well a little more often. We just saw Newtstook just jump forward and abandon the medic. That was a free opportunity for Crops to be able to make some kind of counterplay. Elaine stayed in Valley and didn't back off early enough. Unfortunately, it didn't look like they were able to make that happen, but Jake Hong just walking straight through connector does manage to get the kill on King Cobra, and there's a fat bomb from Quake Spear, securing the kill on Elaine once again. Does get traded out by Newtstook, but here comes the counter aggression as Pear is just walking in trying to secure the kill on a Max, but the cap does go out in the favor of Crops. But now their medic's left alone. Pick and Chicken having to face the wrath of Nathan as they're just walking forward, pistoling down, attempting to get Chicken going all the way down to 9 health, but not quite get secured a kill as Max does go down, and the cap is once again reobtained by Pigeon Syndrome.
Imagine the comms. Yeah, we can let their med go out. We'll get the kill before they get Uber again. Don't worry about it.
Just keep walking forward. I mean, there's nothing to fear, fellas.
I think it's important to note, I don't think they capped for more than a minute in either of the past 2 rounds, so Pigeon Syndrome really doing a much better job this half. Elaine's been dying slightly less, it feels like, and they've been playing more, aggressive on point, not letting these flank plays completely roll them like they were last time. Eugen and Kree gonna trade out right about there, but taking down Eugen's a big win for them for how strong he was last half. Max and Quake Spear, looks like Quake Spear is getting ready to jump in right now.
Here comes the Uber trade.
Comes out. Elaine's at 96. Is she gonna get her first one?
98%. No, the heal beam disconnects. No, the scout
Elaine.
took a different route from Elaine, and they just couldn't get that Uber building in time. Unfortunately, if you just, you need to keep your players together as you back out. That way you can try to secure your medic at least the movement speed buff by chaining onto a scout. But unfortunately, they just disconnected for whether or not it's miscommunication or maybe just a total lack of being on the same page. They unfortunately lose Elaine once again, and now Crops are securing themselves a fairly forward hold here on grass with 4 players and another 2 kind of coming in from the back. The heals are very forward, and Pear is walking in.
King Cobra on the back cap? How did I just watch?
But the fight still is going on as a couple players do just respawn for Crops, but Pigeon Syndrome are so ready to just walk right back in. Jaehong's trying to get the return kill on Elaine over in main, but it's not quite able to secure that. So with Jaehong down now, this looks to be the Pigeon Syndrome shot. They might be able to just walk forward and try to take this fight. Pick and Chicken did just respawn, not healing anyone right now. No overheals on the side of Crops, but Max jumping in, trying to find Elaine, does not land any particular significant amount of damage, but King Cobra walking forward and Dogbread, not healed, not healthy, does go down. 2 players down on the side of Pigeon Syndrome. They're trying to secure this cap, but will they have the players available and the number of players ready to take this fight? I'm not so sure about that. Eugen coming in, piping Elaine in the back.
Low.
Elaine locked down to 20 health. Elaine does drops! Nathan coming in, trying to get the revenge kill onto Eugen, and oh no, Scribble comes back in, gets the kill on Nathan, and that's, oh no. Oh, what a heartbreaking series of events.
Just when it looked like they were set up, They're gonna have their med get Uber right there. Eugen comes in from the side, lands one pipe. She surfed it away, but just walked back into the second. Pop it, don't drop it is the med motto for a reason. You think you're gonna die, just use it. Cobra, though, gonna get 2 pretty quick kills before Jaehong takes him out. Time, though, is very, very dangerous right now for Crops. They are still spawning up 2 players, and the presence right now is definitely in the favor of Pigeon. If they can recap this, they're still at, 30 seconds left, but Jaehong coming in from behind, gets one shot onto Elaine, starts beefing, no, gets it, and no one even turns around!
No, but now they're going to be forced to take this last fight without heals as they need to defend against this overtime. I mean, attack the point against this overtime. They just need to keep stacking
no
people,
one has any help. This is so scrappy right there. If they can get Quakespeare and Max, maybe Pear's the only one alive. Can the
Pear needs to walk to the point. You can't let them get that.
Time. Oh, just
one kill.
The rocket.
Max is stuck behind. Max has not committed to this. They could actually come back from this. Pigeon Syndrome is securing that cap from Pear. Max is still stuck behind on Cliff, and finally looking like Max wants to jump back in and get the return kills, as no one is particularly healthy inside of Pigeon Syndrome, but Pear does get the kill, the deny onto Max, so now they're going to be able to take this final pivotal fight with a 1-player advantage. Will they be able to secure this? King Cobra playing really aggressively on point, trying to lock them out of these choke points, not let them get in, but Kree feeds, unfortunately, to a series of pipes, and now Jaehong walking right in, no fear as he bots directly for Pear. All these players so hurt on the side of Pigeon Syndrome as they're unable to take this fight. Aggression coming directly across Dogbrain, and Max jumping in to secure these kills. Elaine getting knocked down to 10 health and killed by Stray Arrow. I mean, a Stray Rocket, but finally this cap does come out from Crops, and we are up to 3-0 right now in this first 4 series. Oh, no.
That was one hell of a round. It feels almost like salt in the wound, but Elaine is really, so she's dying a lot, right? And when your team's not playing around you, that's going to happen. But even when she's staying alive, I feel like her heals are not very good. She's keeping the beam on Newbie.tf when he's at 300 behind Rock, while her teammates are taking fights on point. Not, spreading over heals very well, not spreading buffs. And when Newbie.tf's not going in for a jump, really, he's not really doing that much damage. So those scouts, the scouts aren't, Nate and Pear aren't getting heals. King Cobra is getting left out to dry anytime he attempts to fight. He just gets chipped down by scouts and soldiers and then, ran at. So it feels like even though Chicken's dying, a lot, he is spreading those heals. He's tanking up Scribble on the point right now, spreading out those buffs, making sure everyone is playing healthy. And, it's part of the reason why Crops just had such a dominant mid.
Exactly. They didn't even jump in or take any hyper aggression on that last mid fight. We didn't quite cover. They just kind of edged that. Oh no!
Playing with the third drop.
Oh no, I feel for you, Elaine, but unfortunately, yeah, they just took that last mid fight by pure spam and aggression. Pear coming in looking like he wants to try to secure the trade onto Pick and Chicken, not even getting knocked down to below 100. King Cobra walking forward, seeing to get some lucky pipe spam onto them, but now here comes Max jumping in to secure the trade, the return kill back on King Cobra. No more aggression for you, and now looks like they're so confident on the side of Crops. They're jumping directly into their grass. They're walking forward. They're ready to take this fight. They have an Uber of their own. Quakespeare coming in, trying to knock down Elaine. Here comes. Oh, Jaehong did actually get the bomb, the hit onto Elaine. There goes Elaine once again. They still have the Uber to use on the side of Crops too, so they pop finally just to keep Eugen alive. And it's just got to be such an unfortunate game for Elaine. You need to keep that medic alive. That is your last hope of getting back into this game.
Think about how close last round was, and if she didn't drop that Uber to the demo, they probably end up winning that, honestly. And suddenly, here, she gets an Uber, survives the mid-fight, drops it there, and now they just get meat grinded in their spawn exits. Chicken was a little bit AFK on point, so he took a little bit of
one pipe
damage there, and now goes down. Yeah, the splash damage ends up going right into a kill from Pear. Eugen gonna go down too right there. Quakespeare in the back, getting frags to even it out, but Elaine is looking pretty unpressured right now. Here comes in the bump from Max. If she can live this, she'll be in a good spot. And there it is, the winger from Nathan coming out. Quakespeare now, round 2. Oh, goes all the way in the back. Doesn't even attempt to go for the bomb right now. Gonna steal that pack. Did I hear a sniper? I did. Jaehong sitting on China right there.
Oh!
Gets the lane with the headshot. Oh, no.
First off class of the match coming on this final round. Jaehong hitting another headshot onto King Cobra. No fear. Oh, you know what? Okay, don't look at that. Nathan coming a little forward. Newbie.tf coming and looking like they're trying to reaggress. They do still have the point after all. Even though Elaine did die, they're still ready to hold on to this with whatever they can. Unfortunately, Pick and Chicken is sitting on a pretty 30% ad, and now with these players forward on the side of Pigeon Syndrome, they're looking to try to choke these players out, but they really need to keep Elaine alive on this next fight. Looks like Crops are not content waiting for their Uber and securing that. They bomb in Quakespeare and get the pair kill. And, I mean, the Nathan kill, spam does tick off Pear in the back, but it's do or die right now for Pigeon Syndrome. Either they get the trade and they win that fight dry, or they lose Elaine yet again on yet another fight, and they straight up wipe on this last push. And there we go. Crops getting the point once again.
Crops really showing a lot of versatility in their strategy, switching between kill the medic and then kill everyone else, and kill everyone else and then kill the medic.
Yeah, absolutely.
As,
you know,
as
with
that
people...
time Elaine was the last one alive, as everyone else goes down to the bombs, and it feels like whatever fire they had in that last round, it almost feels like it just went out.
Oh, but they're sticking 6 players together on Cliff. They're not making any more mistakes with rotating players and leaving them alone. The Force finally does come out and Pigeon chicken. But Elaine's been left alone in the back, and Jaehong's just chasing Elaine in the back again. Gets one hit with the Boston Basher. Elaine bleeds to death in the back. There is no escape for Elaine. Newtstuk, the only player left alive, just sitting on porch, unable to find the courage to take that bomb in. What looked like a great setup on the side of Pigeon Syndrome as they came forward and they got that Force they so desperately needed. They could not translate that into keeping their own medic alive and being able to set up for a repush. And unfortunately now, you know, with 35 seconds left on the clock, this might be the final pivotal fight, but they are already 3 down, coming to retake this. Pear and Nathan just coming back in, trying to take this fight alone, but Pear's been left to dry. He's fighting 3 players alone through the side of main. Heals are still sitting on China, and Nathan trying to walk forward and maybe give Pear a little bit of backup, but Newsuk sitting alone on Concrete as well. They just are not regrouping. They're not getting their heals together. 3 players over on the side of Dogbread, edging this cap, but Pigeon Chicken goes down to a good Rap Assassin ball and 2 well-placed meat shots coming out from the side of Nathan. So maybe this is exactly the stroke of good luck they need, as it looks like Max trying to come back in for a little trade, but he's sitting on Japan, and we'll be able to see whether or not he goes for it.
I feel like we, you know, kind of, you called it before, and wow, look at this. Crops building in spawn. Pretty with Jaehong, so a good call by him right there to get that Uber right back up. Elaine, though, at 90% right now, still at full health, so she will get this Uber, that's for certain. Whether or not she uses it is a different story, but you can hear that familiar crackle right there. As here come in the soldiers, Max is taken out right quick, and here comes in Quakespear, gonna beep his
gets a
jump,
hit
his
air shot, too!
Yeah, he's gonna go down,
there
and
they go.
Elaine able to hold on to this, not being forced yet.
Oh, but they use them back. Seems like a bit of an inopportune time, but they are chasing out Pigeon Chicken. Pigeon 7 health, getting chased in the back, gets killed by Nathan. Finally, things going the way of Pigeon Syndrome. Actually, a fairly... I would like to call that even actually a pretty well done defense. They called out the Bombers, and then they took their Uber aggressively into Crops in order to find that medic and kill them to make sure that there is no Uber available for Crops to use. And that just seems like maybe not the most cleanly executed, but that was a solid play from the playbook right there for Pigeon Syndrome.
Definitely, and I mean, Uber #1 couldn't have come at a better time right there. As, oh, here comes, though, all of Crops are flooding onto the point. Kree finds Pigeon Chicken in the back line, but numbers are in favor right now. Of,
5 seconds, they have
Crops.
to go back in.
5 seconds, they gotta get onto it. Newt is low, but there is Pear, the hero from the last round, getting in, finding kills.
Jaehong's on Elaine in the back.
Yeah, Jaehong's the only one alive right there, gonna try to get in on point, goes to the bat, not gonna find it. Elaine is alive right now, almost with another Uber up, and with only 30 seconds left, Pigeon Syndrome looking to finally snag a round back here. I'm getting goosebumps from this.
They need to be sitting on top of Elaine right now. They cannot afford to give this Uber up. 17 seconds left. They have to secure this plays. Everyone needs to stay alive for this fight. As long as they don't die and they use this Uber to chase out whatever kills they need to, they're going to be able to take this. But unfortunately, Kree does go down. And so 6 versus 5. 1. No, King Cobra is going down. They lose another 3 players. They got 3 left. Are they going to be able to take these fights? They're not flashing. 4 down. It's a solo on Nutsu, but they needed to keep their players alive. Unfortunately, it's just 1 against the world. And now they're isolated. Elaine gets caught out and juggled over to Dogbread. Nutsu's doing his best, but he's unfortunately just 1 player, and there goes the final round. GG's coming out from Call the Crops. What a clutch final 2 rounds, too, as it looked like Pigeon Syndrome getting their act together and finally pulling out some excellent plays, but unfortunately just not quite able to cinch the win. But an exciting match nonetheless. Whew.
Yeah, two double overtimes in the end there was really not how I was expecting this game to go after the first 2 rounds, but, you know, I mean, I think it is worth noting, Pigeon Syndrome was 3-0 going into this. And not only that, but they beat a team that Crops had lost to, so I don't know if we've just seen a lot of day-to-day improvement, or, you know, product's just not their map, but, man, what a bloodbath that was, and that got really close down to the wire, and, you know, it stings a little bit, you know, as a med player, seeing that inexperience kind of come through. I mean, I feel like I might have been maybe harping on Elaine a little bit, you know, overly much during that, but only because I'm looking for what I know, but dropping those players at the end there really is unfortunate, and it means that, you know, they are gonna unfortunately eat the 4-0 here, but
Yeah, I can't really fault you too much for like focusing on the meds. There were a lot of other things that I felt like could have been cleaned up, especially, you're always, even at the highest level of gameplay, we're all still learning and making small changes to our gameplay. But it really did feel like the pivotal moment there, especially for Pigeon Syndrome. If they really wanted to come back, they needed to get on top of Elaine and make sure that she stayed alive as much as possible. And that was really the crucial moment there. But it was just, unfortunate for them. Hopefully, though, if they decide to, getting out of this Newcomer Cup, if they decide to enter in to any more games by themselves, maybe they can, take this as a learning experience and come into these games and kind of figure out how to maybe play around heals a bit more and strengthen as solid of a combo unit as they can. Taking a look at these logs again, we can actually see these are combined logs coming up on stream. Jaehong just blew it out of the water across all fronts. 53 kills, top fragging, top damaging. Not quite bottom deathing, but really close to it compared to everyone else. Coming in second, Eugen was just doing an excellent job as well on that demo, man, getting 399 DPM and 30 kills. It just looks like the DM capabilities from Call the Crops just kind of taking the cake here on products known to be an especially DM heavy map as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, really just fantastic play by him. We even saw the sniper off class. We finally got the sniper you were looking for. And he goes up on China, immediately lands the headshot onto Elaine, gets another headshot onto Cobra, goes down for it, but, essentially goes 2 for 1 off of that because of the damage. So, just, yeah, really good play from them. And, I mean, with both teams being at 3-1, though, because of the match points, how they work out, it means that Crops is going to jump ahead for the solo queue Group B standings right here. And if they can win their last match, they should be in a pretty good spot to take it home. And coming into probably one of your first, if not your first ever TF2 comp experience, just being able to rack up those wins and especially with these guys because they lost to a team that Pigeon Syndrome beat, saying, hey, look, we improved, we've gotten better. And if you can maybe get the first place kind of on your player history or just on in your heart, that's pretty impressive.
As far as the experiences go too, I would not be at all unhappy to be playing a game like this. Sure, it's a 4-0 in practice, but those last 2 rounds were nail biters, and I would be feeling really happy to have played in a match like that where you're coming in, you just get to experience TF2 at its tightest, at its most clutch, and you're just able to enjoy competitive TF2 for what it is, a game that really brings out the fighting spirit in a lot of people.
All right, I got a question for you, Fleur.
Would
you rather go 8-0 in a division or undefeated in a season, come first, but you steamroll all of your matches, or would you rather go 0-7, I guess, but all of them are super close?
Also, this is a leading question. You know who I am and what my history and so undoubtedly I would take the 0-7. I just prefer I really enjoy matches that are close and matches that I can learn from. Winning's fun, but I really love TF2 for the experience, for the game. Not so much just for, being able to crush my enemies and dominate, but I think if I'm able to see players that are good and able to compete with me and able to, keep me on my toes and really make me someone better, I am happy. And that's been kind of the story of my competitive play as well. I came into Invite as a serious underdog in Highlander. I've just been playing games where I get beat up, but I am playing against players that are so good, that are teaching me so much that I never knew I didn't know. That, it's just been an experience, and it's been such a great, wonderful time to be able to do that. So,
this is the time to bring it up because you guys made playoffs, right? First time.
First time. Not necessarily the best showing so far in playoffs, but it's been an adventure, and hopefully we'll be able to make some memories out of that.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I think what's nice about a game like this is that if the players care, they have the VOD from this, right? And with how much Dolphin catches, it's going to be so easy to look back and say, right, here was the mistake. The scouts can say, right, okay, here I was on concrete when my med was getting bombed. Here I used my Uber and I kept it on the person nearest to me when I should have been flashing everyone else. Here, maybe King Cobra's like, I'm walking forward, but my team's not with me, and that's why I got ran up by 2 scouts. And especially if you have, the VOD like this, because the games are so close, you can really pinpoint where those mistakes come from, and then you can get to fixing them, and you'll just skyrocket.
Yeah, exactly. and not to flex on ourselves a little bit, just to kind of puff our chests up, but you do have two very experienced players here also highlighting some of the things we're noticing in the commentary. So maybe they can use some of that commentary to maybe pinpoint issues they didn't even realize that could have been a problem. And on that note too,
yeah,
if,
we're
if
very
you're
good.
yeah, we're all right, I guess. But since Call the Crops did in fact have a mentor, Pigeon Syndrome didn't. It's just kind of one of those things I kind of want to point out. The TF2 mentoring scene has never been better. It's never been more alive. It's never been more active. It's never flourished quite as much. So if you're a new player, and maybe even Pigeon Syndrome tuning into the stream after the fact, there are so many experienced players out there right now, hot mentors in your area. They want to mentor you. That's all I'm saying. All right, you got a lot of players right now. They would love to show you the ropes, and if you're willing, you could really see how good high-level TF2 can be good.
Yeah, and I mean, another thing too is mentoring is so important because the difference between, maybe like a top newcomer amateur player and like a mid-main player in terms of raw DM, honestly, not that different. So much of the early, divisions of TF2 can be climbed off of nothing but coordination and, know-how, right? Because it doesn't matter if you have really great aim if you're not shooting in the right places or if you're not looking in the right places to shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter if, you have this godlike sniper if your team doesn't know how to protect him and he just gets chain stabbed over and over again. So just, having that mentor, getting more knowledge about where, how and where to play certain maps, what your priorities as a class are, how you should be thinking when you're in these, split second end of round decisions, right? Where, where you might have Uber, but they have a numbers ad. How do you play that? The more you can practice that, the more you'll just make right plays that can, compensate as your, individual kind of DM level grows over time.
Yeah, exactly. With some teams that I've been mentoring over the past two, they climb the ranks really, really quickly just off of getting a bit more knowledge and being able to understand the situations a little better. So that knowledge really goes a long way. Even if you can measure up in an individual fight, a one-on-one, but at the end of the day, this is Team Fortress 2 with the team in the name. So, if you guys ever figure out how to play together, play the game as tightly as you can with as much knowledge of the maps and the strats, you could really take that gameplay far. All right, but that has been the first match of the night. Once again, let me just I've been calling them Call the Crops for so long. I forget they have a full name.
Go ahead.
That is
Call
Go
the Crops.
Ahead. Go Ahead. They're threatening me to do it. Go Ahead, Call the Crops versus Pigeon Syndrome. Fantastic match for the first match of the night. We are going to be coming back real soon with our second match. I do threatening me to do it. Go Ahead, Call the Crops versus Pigeon Syndrome. Fantastic match for the first match of the night. We are going to be coming back real soon with our second match. I do believe that will be Hydrophobic Ducks. Yeah, versus Gamer
Grills 69.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure I want
yeah.
that. I'm not sure I want that name on our stream, family-friendly stream here. But all right. We'll be right back after this intermission and be ready to show you guys another match of Newcomer Cups. Real quick shout out to stntrading.eu for sponsoring this cup. If you're interested in TF2 trading, getting some nice cosmetics, showing off to your friends, showing them how good you are at the game, getting some strangers to keep track, or even if you're not that interested in TF2 or playing it, but you love yourself some CSGO, you can get some skins for that game. stntrading.eu has you covered. They are a TF2 and CSGO trading site, and they just, a big shout out to them for being able to sponsor this and help grow the TF2 community. So if you like what we're doing here with the Newcomer Cup, just drop by stntrading.eu, show them some love, thank them for supporting this event and helping make it happen.